I would like to call your attention to the following. Today is our monthly Coffee with the Minister for anyone relatively new to our fellowship. Grab a cup of coffee and join Reverend Walter for anyone today. Grab a cup of coffee and join Reverend Walter about 15 minutes after the service in his office down the hall and get to know more about the fellowship. Be sure to read the March newsletter article from the Committee on Ministry. Later this spring, all congregants and friends will have an opportunity to participate in a survey about the ministry of the UUFWC. More information will be published soon. There's a card in the lobby for longtime member and mentor Helen Ostermiller. You can add your well wishes as she and Ken will be moving to Vermont on March 14th. If you would like to find out more about our activities, feel free to ask Karen Skubik, our membership coordinator, after the service.
Thank you, Tim. And this is when we usually welcome any visitors. And if there is anyone new or hasn't been here in a while, and you'd like to introduce yourself, you're welcome to do so. I'm just going to say hi to Logan, if some of you maybe haven't seen Logan in a little bit. But I don't think there's anybody brand new here that wants to stand up. Well, hopefully we can all still chat over coffee, whether there's anyone new or not. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Laura Birch, and I've been asked to talk about living our values everywhere, what love looks like through UU values. So love feels like it's in short supply these days. We could all name a million examples from the news. And many of you could name a few examples from very close to home. You see it often in the BLM demonstrations, the reactions to the BLM demonstrations on the square. You saw it yesterday when literal Nazis showed up in Wadsworth to protest a drag event. And you saw it in a recent petition to the library board that promoted censorship of library materials by stirring up hate against the LGBTQIA+ community. In the face of so much hate, this place isn't just a refuge for me. It's a means of survival. The UU first principle, everyone has inherent worth and dignity, is like a balm and a barricade. A barricade because I feel like it helps protect me from a world that insists that only some of us matter. And it's a balm because it's healing. It reminds me of who I am and of whose I am, as Tricia Hersey has said. So when I see acts of hate in my community, like the library petition, I go to that principle as a reminder and a reassurance. I have inherent worth and dignity. Everyone has inherent worth and dignity. Maybe we can repeat that, because I think we really need to hear it ourselves every day. Everyone has inherent worth and dignity. It's a revelation. At least it was to me. A revelation that helps me get ready to respond. What does that principle, which is really an expression of radical love for the self and for the world, look like in action? I think our community's response to the attacks on our library illustrates exactly what Cornel West means when he says that tenderness is what love looks like in private, and justice is what love looks like in public. For so many of you, when that hateful library petition appeared, love looked like taking time to fill a library conference room with your bodies. Love looked like writing letters to the library board and the newspaper. Love looked like sharing your support on social media for LGBTQIA folks and for free, uncensored public libraries. Love looked like spreading out at the library, or speaking out, sorry, we did spread out. There were a lot of us there, UUs. It looked like speaking out at the library board meetings, calling attention to the larger forces of hate that were behind this local effort. Love looked like showing up for our kids, our library board members, our vulnerable community members, so that they know beyond a shadow of a doubt, when hate comes for you, we will protect you. We will be that barrier, and we will be that balm. We will remind you that you matter, that you have always mattered, and that you will never not matter. Inherent worth and dignity, radical self and other love, tenderness in private, justice in public, it's how we will survive and thrive in this world together. Thanks.
Now, I would ask you to open your minds and silence your cell phones for our time together. Our chalice lighting this morning is Can You Believe by Sean Parker Dennison. Can you believe in a world where no one is turned away for being wrong? Can you believe in a world where mistakes are simply ways of learning? Can you believe in a place where you can feel the lightness of not knowing? Can you believe there is room enough at the table for you and for the one you call enemy? Can you believe in the improvisational nature of mystery and irrational compassion? Can you believe that training you to be a devil's advocate was a way of stealing your tenderness? Can you believe you can get your tenderness back and become a chief collaborator with love? Let us now rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. The music can be found in the Teal Hymnal number 188.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is a caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. What's on now?
I love that hymn just to watch people sway. It's so easy. It feels like you're on a ship with that one. It's just kind of nice. I have in my hands here probably the longest piece I have ever written for a worship service. 4,000 words. This is a choose your own adventure sermon. You think I'm kidding. That's why you all have colored pieces of paper. This is our exploratory worship where things get a little bit different. I want to talk about vulnerability. I want to talk about risk. And the way I want to talk about it, and I want to thank Sharon a little bit for the idea, was we talking about, when we were building worship for this, the Choose Your Own Adventure books. How many of you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books? Right? Where are my Gen Xers at? And okay, I've got a few boomers who probably had to get them. And you, all right, awesome. I got 5 of them out from the library yesterday to bring, or the day before yesterday, to bring them in here to show people, and they're currently in my car. But we're going to talk about what it means to make choices. How many of you sometimes have trouble making choices because what if it's the wrong one? What if the choice you make leads you down the wrong path, right? And how many of you, when you had your Choose Your Own Adventure books, kept a finger on the page where you made the last choice, wondering if you were going to be able to go back in case you did the wrong one, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about holding your finger in the page. I hope you have fun with us today. I think this is going to be fun, and I cannot wait until 11 o'clock rolls around and all the people who forgot to change their clocks come in. And I'm glad you came in here to worship with us on this snowy, slippery, slightly sleepy Sunday. Join us for worship.
It has been said that faith without works is dead. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in doing the work, no matter the source of your faith. The offering we are about to collect funds the works both within our community and beyond these walls. All donations collected today that are not specifically marked otherwise will be split with the Viola Startzman Clinic. The clinic offers medical services to those in need in Wayne County. Those services include primary care, dental, and mental health, just to name a few. We thank you for your donation toward the mission and vision of this community. The offering will now be collected and gratefully received. Please join me in this unison reading. The words are on the screen. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share our gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. Let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others.
Please join me now as we center ourselves. Take a breath. If it is comfortable for you to put both feet on the floor, I encourage you to do so. Rest your hands in your lap. Take a deep breath, hold it for just a second, and release. In, out. Where's the tension? Is it in your shoulders, your back, your neck, your legs, the crown of your head? Where you feel that tightness, breathe into it and let it go. Hold these words: inherent worth. Think about the people who are hard to love. Know that they too entered this world small and squalling. Know that they entered this world just like we did. They started with the possibility of love. They started with the possibility of hope. They started in beauty. Know that no matter what path people take, there is still time for redemption. Inherent worth and dignity means hope. Inherent worth and dignity means the possibility for love always exists within ourselves and within those who we see as hateful. Love is stronger. Breathe in. Feel the love in this room. Feel the inherent worth and dignity of all who share this world with us. Hold that beauty within yourselves, my friends. You are needed. You are loved. Blessed be. There are so many joys and sorrows in our community that go left unsaid. I know many of us were at Rachel Durr's daughter's memorial this weekend. And I thank so many folks for showing up and being supportive. And Laura alluded to some horrible events in Wadsworth this weekend. I wanted to lift up Chris Stormer and Ian Sewell, who were there. It was a hard time. And there's a lot to be sorrowful for. And there's joy still in this world. So many people who show up in support. So many people who protect and hold love. For all of the joys that you have, that you bring with you, I really encourage you this morning on this gray day to share a joy. Think of something beautiful that lifts you up, even if it is just the vision of the snow on the trees in the background. Hold on to that joy. Take a stone and place it in the water. And for all of those things that bring us sorrow, put them on the stone and let the sorrow go. I encourage you now to come up, place stones that is comfortable for you as we sing Spirit of Life. How many of you have your slips of paper? So I did not intentionally choose Mardi Gras colors. That's just how it happened. It is Lent. Mardi Gras is done. Those are how you will be voting on which direction we will choose. So any children who do not have their papers are going to have to convince their parents to vote the way they want them to vote. And your parents might be stubborn and pick different ways. So be ready. But we are going to go on an adventure. Some of you may know that I am a nerd. That back in the day, in the 80s, that I played this game called Dungeons and Dragons. Any of you familiar with that? Right? I am still actually playing Dungeons and Dragons in my 50s because my children want me to run them through a campaign, so I still have to do this stuff. You thought polity was hard? Try the Player's Handbook for D&D. Oh my gosh, all of the rules. So it'll be no surprise to you that the Choose Your Own Adventure story is going to have a slightly medieval theme. And the great thing about these stories is that you, my friends, are the central character. And we will have discussions on which way we will choose. So be prepared, because I'm going to be taking a mic out into the audience. But are we ready to begin our adventure, my friends? All right. You, my friends, you are a youngling in a small village. You live with your elderly caretakers, and you enjoy a simple life. Your small garden and your handful of chickens allows you to supplement your meals with only a few things from the local market. The small income your family generates from selling homemade breads and cakes pays the taxes to the local monarch. It is a content, if not dull, existence. But one day, a decree comes from the castle. The monarch's daughter is getting married, and a dowry is needed. All residents are to pay 4 times their taxes until the wedding in 1 year's time. Probably not the best way to run a pledge campaign. There is no way that your family can afford this, and they are sure to lose their home unless something is done. Your caretakers are unable to work any harder than they do, and it is up to you. So you decide to, A, which is our green, take an apprenticeship with the local blacksmith who is known for his skill. B, which is our yellow, sell the family's prized heirloom. And thinking to myself, what is a prized heirloom that you use with truly treasure? A set of books that will fetch enough money to pay for the taxes. You have to remember, books in medieval times, this is pre-Gutenberg, folks. C, there is a rumor of a dragon that lives in the caves over the dark mountains, who sleeps on a vast pile of riches. This is our purple one, folks. You set off to find the treasure. Will you, A, green, take the apprenticeship, B, yellow, sell the prized heirloom, C, purple, investigate the dragon and their riches? Hold up your colors. Let's see. And here we go. We're going to go around. All right. Oh, I have 1 yellow card over here, so keep them at, yeah. Pat, why are you selling the prized heirloom? All right, can we get the mic on? Let's try that again. Try again.
I said I can't do any of the climbing or killing because I'm old.
Ah, it said you were a youngling, but we're going to go. You're trying to think. All right, let me see. Where are my greens? Show me my greens. Let's see. I'm going to go to Mike over here. Mike, why are you going to go work for the blacksmith?
Make extra money.
Make extra money. Mike seems like someone who's really good with his hands. So, all right, my purples. Can you tell me why you want to face the dragon?
It would be really fun.
You're not wrong. All right, let's get another dragon. I want to go over here. Can I ask someone over here? Sure. Why are we going for the dragon?
I think it would be cool to see a dragon.
It would be cool to see a dragon. Can I have my greens and my purples both put their hands up so I can see which one do we have more of? I'm thinking we're going purple, right? We're going to go with the dragon. Okay. Dragon, turn to page 13. All right. All right, my dragon slayers, you kiss your caretakers farewell and promise to be careful. The journey to the mountain is rough on your own, sleeping in the woods, rationing out your meager scraps of food that you brought from home. On your 4th day of travel, As you crest a fairly steep hill, you see down the road a group of adventurers. At least you think they're adventurers. With their weapons and scraps of armor, they could also be a group of bandits. While it would be good to have help on your journey, they could rob you as well and leave you for dead. If they indeed are adventurers out seeking their fortune, what is to say that they would want to join you anyways? Perhaps they know of other, safer, more lucrative opportunities. After mulling over the possibilities, you decide: A, green. Greet the band of travelers and ask them if they are interested in helping you slay a dragon. B, pass them by, hiding in the nearby woods. They could be dangerous. That's our yellow. Purple, ask them if you can join them. Maybe they have some good ideas. Green, ask them to join you. Yellow, avoid them. Purple, ask to join them. All right. Ooh, yellow is making a. All right, so who are we going to go to? Jane. Oh, can I ask you, Jane, why you want to join them?
I just think that's the friendly way to be.
The friendly way to be. You want to make sure that you feel like you're not imposing your will on them. Exactly. All right. Where's my Cheryl, can I guess you? Why are you purple?
Same as Jane. I think it's a friendly and wise thing to do.
Friendly and wise thing to do. Let's see. Can I ask you why you're green? No? Let's see. Where's another green? I'm going to come around to Chris over here. Yeah. Y'all didn't know you were going to be asked to talk. Why are you green?
Because I like to bring other people alongside an adventure that I'm on.
All right. Bring people along on the adventure. We got some more yellow over here. Why are you hiding?
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Janice, why are you hiding?
Well, I hate to be negative about the whole thing, but as a female youngling, I would not go after a group or band.
All right, Juan, why are you hiding?
It's just how I would hide and watch and assess the situation.
Hide and watch and assess. This is interesting. All right, Purple, why are you asking them to? Why are you asking to join them?
Because I feel lucky.
Ooh.
And I think that it might be a great, and I might be able to convert them into the idea that I can steer them in the way that I want to go, and maybe they want to go the same way I want to go.
So you're trying to gain their confidence in order to manipulate them?
No, not manipulate them.
It's a little Machiavellian there.
No. It's the possibility that they might share my values and that I could they could help me and I can help them. We could promote the same thing.
Right, mutual aspirational.
But I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. All right, let me see again. Where are my, ask them to join you. Where are my greens? All right, greens. Man, the folk orchestra knows all about working together. Look at how many greens we got over there. All right, let me see my yellows. We're hiding. Oh, lastly, let me see my purples. Join them. Yellows have it. Pass them in a nearby woods. Go to page 15. There are 25 pages, folks. I kid you not. You go deeper into the woods and go around the band of travelers on the path. They don't seem to notice you passing by them, and after about an hour or so, you make your way back to the main path. The rest of the journey to the mountains is lonely and cold. Your food supply has dried up, and you are forced to forage for berries and mushrooms. After a few more weeks of hard travel and a narrow escape from a wolf pack, you reach what you believe to be the dragon's lair. Quietly, you sneak in, and after a while, you stumble into the sleeping chambers of the beast. Indeed, the room is covered in gold and gems, and the dragon is fast asleep atop it. It is at least 100 feet long, but it's hard to tell exactly where it is, all curled up. Its black scales glint in the dim reflection of the treasure, and the room smells of sulfur and copper. Its gentle snore echoes throughout the cavern. You could sneak up on it and hope that a single strike in its eye would slay the beast. Looking at the treasure it rests upon, you aren't sure that you could sneak up upon it without making too much noise. Are dragons heavy or light sleepers? Heavy. Let us hope for your case. It is a heavy sleeper. Maybe it's best for you to cut your losses and run. There sure is a lot of treasure, however. Maybe the dragon won't mind sharing some of it? You finally decide. Green, sneak up on the dragon and try to slay it. Yellow, get out of there, it's a dragon! C, excuse me, dragon, can I ask you a question? Green, sneak up, try to kill it. Yellow, run. Purple, ask the dragon a question. All right, so we're gonna start with our dragon slayers. Over here, this brave young soul is gonna sneak up on the dragon. Got a little hobbit action going on.
Because if you kill the dragon, then you just get all of the treasure. And it's sleeping, so it can't be that hard to kill.
Right. No risk, no reward, right? James.
I just chose to kill the dragon so I can reward everybody in the village where I come from.
He's gonna take it back home to everybody in the village. It's like you read my book. All right, yellow. Where are my, run away! Run away! Who's running? Who's running? I'm gonna come over here to Don. Don, why are you running away? You've waited all this time.
As soon as I saw the dragon, I remembered Puff, and I decided being a blacksmith apprentice isn't such a bad idea.
Okay, yes, that is not a bad idea. Who's gonna talk to the dragon? Where am I talking? Oh, Sharon, why does this not surprise me?
Because I've never met a dragon, so of course I think he may be agreeable to my suggestion, and perhaps I can come up with some kind of barter where, you know, we give, rather than a young maiden, we give him a goat or something.
Young maidens versus goats, always a good option. All right, why are we talking to the dragon?
Because the dragon really hasn't done anything wrong, so you probably shouldn't kill it. And you came all this way not to run away, so maybe you can find the middle.
All right, why are you killing the dragon? A little brotherly quarrel here. Cool.
Have you ever read a book that dragons are nice to humans?
I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. Anyone over here want to talk about? All right, Purple, why are we talking to the dragon, Catherine?
Because I just want to be friends with
I do too.
Exactly.
I do too. All right, let me see my greens. Who are our dragon slayers? All right, not a whole lot of dragon slayers, that's good. All right. Where are our runaways? Where are our runaways? Run away! I want you to really imagine what this dragon looks like, folks. I might run away too. All right, where are my purples? Let's be friends with the dragon. You are a bunch of you-yous, let me tell you. Let's be friends with the dragon. Excuse me, dragon, can I ask you a question? Turn to page 24. You walk into the cavernous room and clear your throat. Excuse me, dragon, I hate to wake you, but I have a question for you. The dragon coughs itself awake, a plume of acrid smoke leaking from its nostrils. It opens its wide, amber eyes and stares at you as you stand motionless. It blinks a few times and finally says in a deep, rumbling voice,
"This is a first. No one has ever tried to talk to me in my own lair. Usually humans come in swinging swords, not questions.
The great beast stretches as it eyes you, revealing that it is indeed larger than you initially imagined.
You know I could kill you, right?
Please don't. You meekly respond. The dragon chuffs laughter. More smoke billowing from its nose.
Very well, my brave little friend, you may ask your question.
Well, is it Mr. Dragon? I'm afraid I don't know much about dragons.
You can just call me Jules. Is that your question?
No, just, okay, you see, Jules. My family's in a bit of a spot. The monarchs have levied a rather large tax that we are completely unable to pay through our meager means. I noticed that you have quite a lot here, and I was hoping that I could take just a small part of your wealth to help my family out. Jules seems to ponder your request for a moment, laying its giant head down on the ground.
I'll tell you what,
Jewel finally says.
I haven't been out in ages. Tell me stories. Tell me stories about the world beyond my cave, and I'll let you fill this up.
It picks up a chest, which appears small in its massive jaws, but could easily hold 2 or 3 people inside of it.
Who does run the kingdom over the mountain? Who would tax you so? Tell me of other villages, of inventions, and of creatures. Did the unicorns ever recover from that battle ages ago?
You sit and you talk with the dragon for what seems like days. Taking breaks to sleep and eat, you find out that dragons are really good cooks. Eventually you leave, promising to come back in a few years with updates, and to also promise to tell anyone who asks that you barely escaped with your life. You are carrying enough treasure to keep you comfortable your entire life. You return home and are not only able to pay the taxes, but you're also able to get a better house. You use your wealth to find more books to add to the family collection. So many, in fact, that you need to actually buy a new house just for the books. And the villagers are so intrigued by this that they ask to borrow the books on occasion in 2-week increments. And you help the young ones learn to read. And soon the whole village prospers over the next few years. And when you go back to visit Jules and tell them all about what happened years later, they are incredibly pleased by your success. The end. I guess I don't need this. So let me tell you about some of the alternate paths in there. What do you think happens if you sell a family heirloom? Right. You're going to regret it. In the story I have, when you sell the family heirloom, the matriarchs, patriarchs are so despondent in your family that they wither away. And you become a beggar on the streets. That's right, Pat. You almost killed your family. But selling the heirloom seems to be a quick and easy way out of the situation, doesn't it? Right? It does get you an immediate result. You get to keep the taxes, at least for that first year, for the house. How many of you wanted to know what happens with the blacksmith? Right? The blacksmith had a couple of different paths. Because eventually what happens with the blacksmith is he asks you to make something that you don't know how to make, and you have to decide whether you tell the blacksmith, I don't know how to make this, leave because you think the blacksmith has too much of an expectation for you, or try to make it without any training. Can you imagine what happens if you try to make something in a forge without training? You lose a hand, is what happens. And if you try to get through it, you become a beggar. But if you ask for help, The blacksmith, so proud of you. So proud of you for asking. That you become their best apprentice and eventually take over. And you have enough money to live comfortably, but maybe not start a library. How many of you want to know what happens with the band of adventurers? Were they bandits or were they really adventurers? No. You were going to meet Sophie and Gary, who were so cool. And they come with you, and you get to the same ending with Sophie and Gary that you can get to on your own if you ask them to join you. But if you ask to join them, they take you on a whole different adventure. You get to fight the ogres, and you get to help clean up the kingdom for the monarch. And you learn a whole new set of skills, but in the process, you take so long that your family loses the house. You succeed, but your family doesn't. And the other fun thing that happens in this is there are so many options in this story that will take you back to the beginning. If you run away, what's your options then? Sell the heirloom, go to the blacksmith. One of the things that happens when we talk about all of the choices we make is we think some of them are beyond redemption, that this is the final choice. And I want to bring in one story that I heard yesterday from Ian, actually. Many of you know I was at the thing in Wadsworth with the drag show where the Nazis showed up and all of that fun stuff. I don't want to get into details of that. But what I do want to say is Ian told us a story about he heard about someone who was part of a far-right group a long time ago who had a son, and the son was born with a cleft palate. Now, many of you know when it comes to being born with a cleft palate, it's a fairly, I don't want to say simple procedure, but routine. It's something that can be easily fixed and you can go on with your life. But with this whole idea of pure blood, what did his far-right friends tell him he needed to do? Euthanize his son. And he had a change of heart. And he left the group. And he came out to speak against what they believed in and to talk about the power of radical love and acceptance. Laura, when you talk about that inherent worth and dignity, and we are greeted with people who hate, and we are greeted with people who seem to be against everything we have to remember that love can change them. I have decided to side with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Anyone know who said that? MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. It is hard to face the dragons with love, right? I can't imagine facing that large black behemoth and going, excuse me, can I ask you a question and not get vaporized instantly? By the way, fight the dragon, vaporized instantly. Yeah, it's a UU service story. Violence is not going to win the day. I admire the pluck, though. But sometimes we have to understand that the long game in this, that the decisions we make, when they can be hard, that sometimes love can win and still does. You can choose your own adventure, and you can keep your finger on the page at all times. Keep living your life until you get to that library at the end of the story. After all, isn't it great to share your victory with the world around you? May it be so. Let us sing our closing hymn, number 131, found in the gray hymnal, Love Will Guide Us. before thousands. You can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. Love is a choice. And it is never too late to make that choice. Redemption isn't from above, redemption comes from within. There's always a chance to be a better person, and there's always a chance to act in love. Go forth, befriend the dragon. May it be so.